There's a kind of exhaustion that sleep can't touch. You can close your eyes for 8 hours, breathe slowly, drift into dreams, and still wake up feeling heavier than when you laid down. Not in your muscles, not in your bones, somewhere deeper. A kind of heaviness that doesn't belong to the body at all. It's the weight people carry in silence, invisible, unnamed, undiagnosed. And here's the part most people never say out loud. When someone feels tired of existing, it's not because they want to disappear. It's because they want the noise of life to stop long enough for their soul to breathe again. And what comes next? Most people never see it coming. There's no dramatic scene, no collapse, no crisis. Instead, it's 1,000 tiny fractures. The kind you ignored because life told you to keep going. So you did. You kept showing up. You kept smiling. You kept functioning. But here's the twist no one talks about. People who are emotionally exhausted don't look exhausted. They look responsible. They look strong. They look like the ones who always have it together. Inside, everything feels muted, like your emotions have been wrapped in thick fog. Joy becomes a language you can't fully translate anymore. And if you've ever wondered why this happens, the reason is more biological than you think. But that's not even the most surprising part. 2. The brain under siege. Under prolonged stress, the brain starts changing itself. The reward system weakens. Motivation, that spark that once lit up your life, fades like a dying ember. Not consciously, biologically. Psychologists call this emotional burnout. But the human version feels like this. Music stops hitting the same. Laughter feels distant. Days blur together. Time feels slow, but life feels fast. Everything is fine, but nothing feels alive. And when someone finally says, "I'm just tired," it isn't laziness. It's a quiet confession. I've been carrying too much for too long. But what pushes a person to that point? The next part might hit harder than you expect. You're praised for staying late, not staying sane. You're celebrated for pushing through, but not for slowing down. You're rewarded for being productive, not peaceful. Peace must be deserved, so you keep running, even when you don't know why you're running anymore. And every time someone asks what's wrong, you can't explain it. 4. The hidden weight of the peacemakers. There's a pattern psychologists noticed. The most emotionally exhausted people are the ones who care the most. The helpers, the fixers, the ones who keep the world together for everyone else. They've carried responsibilities no one acknowledged. They've swallowed emotions no one asked about. But after years of pretending the weight is light, something inside whispers, "I can't keep doing this." And that whisper is more important than you realize. Chapter 5. When joy stops feeling like joy, there's a psychological phenomenon called anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. It doesn't mean sadness, it means emptiness. Imagine living in grayscale, not depressed, just disconnected. Even good moments feel neutral. Happy news doesn't land. It's that your brain has stopped reaching for meaning because it learned one painful lesson. Joy is unreliable. So instead of chasing it, your mind shuts down the chase entirely. Safer to expect nothing than to be disappointed again. Not because they don't care, but because caring has become too heavy. But the isolation that follows, it's not what you think. 6. The safety of silence. When the world becomes too loud, silence feels like shelter. You cancel plans not because you dislike people, but because social energy feels too expensive. You avoid conversations not out of anger, but out of depletion. You choose solitude not for peace, but for survival. They are trying to protect themselves. Isolation isn't an escape, it's a bandage. 7. The soul's alarm system. Emotional exhaustion isn't random, it's a signal. A biological, psychological, and spiritual alarm telling you something in your life is no longer aligned with who you are. This is where meaning fatigue sets in. You wake up, work, scroll, sleep, repeat. Days melt into each other until you start asking, what's the point? But here's the twist. That question is not hopeless. It's awakening. When the soul asks, what's the point? It's really saying, I need a reason to stay. And that moment, the moment that feels like collapse, is often the first step toward truth, because energy doesn't disappear, it redirects. And what it's redirecting you toward might surprise you. 8. The science of meaning and why you feel empty. One of the greatest discoveries in psychology comes from Viktor Frankl, who survived the concentration camps of Wubyabu II. He said, humans can endure almost any how if they have a why. Meaning isn't optional, it's medicine. When people rediscover their why, their energy shifts. Not instantly. From emptiness to movement, from hopelessness to clarity. 9. The breaking of the false self. People who are tired of existing aren't weak. They're misaligned. They've been surviving versions of life that don't reflect who they truly are. A job that drains them. A lifestyle that suffocates them. A role they never wanted. A mask they forgot how to take off. And eventually, their spirit whispers, you've outgrown this. These moments feel like collapse, but they're actually rebirth, because the soul doesn't whisper without a reason. 10. The return to yourself. Healing doesn't start with productivity. It starts with honesty. When you stop running from your tiredness and start listening to it, something incredible happens. You begin to reconnect. Laughter feels real instead of forced. You catch yourself breathing softer. It doesn't mean drastic change. It can be watching rain streak down the window, hearing a song that feels like it understands you, seeing sunlight spill across your room, feeling air on your skin, reading a sentence that hits your soul like a whisper. Awe reconnects you with existence, a return to authenticity, a shift toward meaning. And every person who's ever rebuilt themselves begins right here, not in strength. Because exhaustion is the body's way of saying, you've survived long enough, now it's time to live. And that moment, that quiet, broken, beautiful moment, is the beginning of everything you've been searching for. You are not weak, you are not broken. Not perfection, not performance, not productivity, but peace, meaning, alignment, yourself.